Ms. Clark, and to Mr. Kim, who will delve into the investigation's findings. The independent investigation has concluded that Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women, and in doing so violated federal and state law. Specifically, the investigation found that Governor Andrew Cuomo sexually harassed current and former New York State employees by engaging in unwelcome and non-consensual touching and making numerous offensive comments of a suggestive and sexual nature that created a hostile work environment.
All right, guys, so that is New York Attorney General dropping the hammer on Andrew Cuomo, who has been accused of sexual harassment by several state employees that have worked for him. Okay, now this situation right here, guys, is a Democrats' nightmare. Okay, Democrats are really going through it right now. They really are, right? With the eviction moratorium crisis, now you have Cuomo's name coming back up with this. You know, it's not looking good for the Democrats. And, you know, Cuomo a couple days ago was taking a victory lap on the fact that the Biden Justice Department dropped their civil investigation into the nursing home scandal. Okay, he was taking a victory lap. Okay, saying it was all political. It was 100% political. And, you know, with that being said, like those allegations, he's denied these allegations as well. And he kind of denied these allegations in the most weird way possible. Take a look.
Same gesture. I do it with everyone. Black and white, young and old, straight and LGBTQ, powerful people, friends, strangers, people who I meet on the street. After the event, the woman told the press that she took offense at the gesture. And for that, I apologize. Another woman stated that I kissed her on the forehead at our Christmas party and that I said, "Ciao, Bella." Now, I don't remember doing it, but I'm sure that I did. I do kiss people on the forehead. I do kiss people on the cheek. I do kiss people on the hand. I do embrace people. I do hug people, men and women. I do on occasion say, "Ciao, Bella." On occasion, I do slip and say sweetheart or darling or honey. I do banter with people. I do tell jokes, some better than others. I am the same person in public as I am in private. You have seen me do it on TV through all my briefings and for 40 years before that. I try to put people at ease. I try to make them smile.
All right, guys. So as you can see, that's Andrew Cuomo basically showing a highlight reel of him kissing people, right, including men, okay, to try to say, well, I do this all the time. This is something that I do. It's just me. I'm just a touchy-feely person, okay? That's essentially what his argument is, and that he still denies it, right? But, you know, here's the thing about this stuff, right? In 2021, you just got to be careful, right? You got to be careful, right? When it comes to female and male interactions, you got to take the most conservative approach possible, especially when you are a public figure. It is what it is. That's the world we live in. Cuomo was sloppy with what he was doing, even if he felt like, oh, it's just being buddy-buddy. This is just who I am. I'm a kissy, touchy person. You know, I know there are people like that, right? I mean, there are people like that. But regardless, that doesn't change how some people feel, right? How it may be perceived. Now, again, this puts the Democrats in an interesting situation because they're supposed to be all about protecting women, right? They're supposed to be all about having a zero tolerance for this type of stuff. And Biden administration actually admitted back in March, Biden himself said, if they say that, oh, like he actually did this, then he should probably face charges. Take a look.
Yes. Let me ask you about Governor Cuomo of New York. I know you said you want the investigation to continue. If the investigation confirms the claims of the women, should he resign?
Yes, I think he probably ended up being prosecuted too.
Yeah, so that's Biden basically saying that they should drop the hammer on Cuomo if this investigation turns out to come to the conclusion that he, in fact, did participate in sexual harassment of these employees, right? So now I wonder, will the Democrats actually be calling for Cuomo's head, or are they just going to sweep this on the rug? Because Cuomo said he's not resigning. Cuomo says he's not going anywhere. He refuses to step down, right? And like I said, guys, this right here, this situation is really going to test the Democrats. It really is. Because one of their own, Letitia James, found this man guilty. Also on top of that, I gotta mention this just because the woke revolutionaries love using this card, so I'm gonna use the card. Letitia James is a black woman, right? And if you question black women, right, you might be called a racist, right? You can't question her. Okay, you can't question her. And her investigation found that Cuomo did this. So if Cuomo tries to criticize her or say that she's being political, then he must be doing it because she's a black woman. We got to throw the racism card at Cuomo as well, okay? And we also can't forget about Chris Cuomo, right? We can't forget about Chris, okay? Because everybody hates Chris. And they really hate him now because he helped advise his brother throughout these allegations, okay? He kind of was complicit in what was going on and what was happening, right? CNN news anchor. Maybe he should resign as well. If you're going to get one, you might as well get both while you at it, right? Okay. Silence is violence. And Chris Cuomo was, going along with his brother. So it must be worse than that for him. I'm just saying. I'm just using the liberal argument. It's not me. It's the left's argument. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. But in all seriousness, guys, I mean, there's some people, right, who are justifiably upset because these allegations against Cuomo are getting more attention than the allegations against him in regards to nursing home scandal, right? There's an argument to be had that what happened with nursing home scandal was way worse considering how there was a loss of life than what's happening right now. And I 100% get that. I do agree that the media is sweeping that under the rug, and it should not be swept under the rug. It's something that still should be talked about to this day. But I think that it's okay to say that both of these things are bad, that both of these things, probably should not be tolerated. Okay, both of these things deserve attention, right? You don't have to have a situation where it's just one or the other. You don't have to. Now, the Democrats are trying to make it that way, right? But they're really stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? It's a pick your poison situation. But like I said, I do understand the sentiment of the fact that this is overshadowing something that probably is much worse because it resulted in a loss of life when it comes to nursing home scandal. It's almost like a gift, right? In which, Cuomo can just continue to say, deny. He can continue to say, well, I'm just a touchy-feely person. This is just who I am. I don't think I did this. I don't think I did that. And most likely, it'll probably be swept under the rug. I honestly don't think that anything's going to happen to him, to be quite honest with you. I really don't. I really don't think anything's going to happen to him because I think that the liberal media, they're going to cover this for maybe a day or two, and then after that, you won't hear anything about it. Nobody's going to say anything about it. Nobody's going to care about it because that's how the liberal media operates, and that's what I would expect moving forward. Now, the entire Democrat congressional delegation in New York is calling for Cuomo to resign, okay? They're calling for him to resign, and I'm not really necessarily surprised about that because they are representatives of New York, but I think what will be more interesting is, will Biden call for Cuomo to resign? Will Biden stick to his word and the things that he was saying in an interview before, right? Should Cuomo be prosecuted, right? Cuomo should be prosecuted according to Biden, okay? Will Nancy Pelosi say something, right? Will the national Democrats say anything about this issue? What will Kamala say? Okay, what will Kamala say? That's what I really, really want to know because in order to actually pop Cuomo on this, in order to actually get him to actually step down, Biden has to call for it. If Biden calls him to step down, he will have to step down, right? Because he's the president. It's not just going to be enough for the New York congressional delegation. No. Cuomo, arguably, honestly, is more powerful than them, right? I would make an argument that he is because he's the governor of New York, one of the largest states in the union, okay? He's a powerful guy. So you need somebody more powerful than him to call for him to step down. I'm not sure if that's going to happen up the chain of command in the Democrat Party. I'm just not sure. But who knows? It might. It might. I know one thing, the liberal media is not going to help, okay? Because they're going to try to act like this didn't happen. I think that's the route that the Democrats are going to go. They'll come out and say a bunch of stuff initially, but if this is not talked about a week from now, it tells you that they really don't give a damn. And I'm going to tell you, if the Democrats try to sweep this one under the rug, they can't say anything about any type of Me Too anything anymore in the future. They can't. They spent all the time on Me Too when it came to Brett Kavanaugh and, anything having to do with people they don't like. But when it comes to one of their own, if they let this go, if they try to ignore this, they're never going to have grounds to stand when it comes to this type of issue anymore. They're not. They're not. So, like I said, man, I mean, I really don't think that anything's going to happen to Cuomo. I think that at this point, the Democrats are just going to play the same game that they always play. But we'll see. I don't know. I mean, public pressure could build up enough. Like the woke mob could force the Democrats' hand on this. That's also a possibility as well. And that could happen, right? It could happen. But as we've seen in the past, the Democrats just kind of, maintain their stance and they just try to find ways to deflect and to, distract by going after the GOP and talking about Trump or January 6th or something like that. That's typically what they do. But in this situation, I don't think they really have that anymore because of the timing. So we'll see. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.